Okay, before you go much further, with a design, I would make a backup copy. So Shift D on the keyboard will make a backup copy. And what I'll do is go over here onto this one, and then here to get to the layers palette, where I can make a layer, I have it highlighted, right click on it and add selected objects. Then to toggle V, I will always have that as a backup copy later on if I mess up. Alright, so at this point I do want to smooth and keep it smooth. Before it was just a preview of smooth. 1 and 3 are just previews, they're not real. So now down to the inserting of edge loops and putting some more detail in the actual handle part. Okay, so I'm going to space out polygons, make them uniformed. To uniform a poly is basically, keep the spaces even all the way across the board. Okay, good. Now I'm going to utilize some commands that I didn't show you before. So I'm going to grab some edges here. Just like that. And I'm going to run a command called Bevel. First off, hold Control, right click, Edge Loop Utilities to Edge Loop. Make sure the edge loop goes all the way around. Sometimes in 2009 it has some issues about that. Okay, so go to the Bevel command and square box it. Okay, in the Bevel options, basically for every edge loop I have in here, it's going to make 2 more. That's how this works. And the spacing of it between the two, I'm going to put 0.3 and I'll hit apply. So I get something like this. Pretty sweet, huh? Saves a lot of time inserting edge loops, and they're all uniformed to what I need. Nicely spaced. I wouldn't say uniform because uniform would be more square-like. Okay, so what I'm doing is highlighting every edge in the center of these edges. And I can hit Control, right click, and go to Edge Loop Utilities and to Edge Loop. And again, make sure it goes all the way around. Here's where you switch views again. So what I'm going to do is scale, and I'm going to scale in this view with the green. And I'm going to jump into this one, and I'm going to scale with the red. Okay, so I got something that looks like this. Okay, depending on what variance that you put in here, if it was a 0.2, it'd look different than a 0.3, obviously. But now when I hit 3, you can see I got these nice little groove lines going in here. And if I wanted to tighten that up even further, I would have to now insert an edge, like manually. Right here, right here, right here, right here. So if you want a tighter looking, you might want to use 0.2 instead of 0.3. It would save you some time on inserting extra edge loops like I'm doing. Okay, now let's take a look at that to see how that would look smoothed out. Very cool. This is exactly what I want. Okay, so I like to put maybe a little gem in the handle or something, or at least a butt on it. So I grab these 4 polygons and I extrude these out. And then I kind of scale them in a little bit. And then insert a couple extra edge loops in here. Just like that, to sharpen that up. Okay, again, I always check to see what that's going to look like. Again, pretty sweet. Okay, now the blade. It needs something. I would say this blade is not the kind to be serrated, but I'm going to serrate it anyway to kind of show you how to serrate an edge of a blade and how you can actually use edge loops to do that. Okay, and that's in the next video.